Hello and welcome, wrestling fans, to tonight's show of Gage Valley Wrestling. Coming to you from the beautiful Gauntlet City Penitentiary on the outskirts of Gage Valley. For tonight's show to bring happiness and cheer to the soul of these disheartened masses. To these poor inmates and poor felons. Tonight we are going to bring them Christmas spirit. And maybe a little bit of blood as well. So we are playing Worldwide Wrestling tonight on the Gauntlet. As with every Gauntlet game, there are a number of safety tools that we actually use as part of the game. We do have an open table policy, so if ever at any point you feel like you need to take a step back or are uncomfortable with continuing, you can by all means leave the table at any point. But let's try and avoid getting that far. The way we avoid getting that far is we have a safety tool we use called the X card. Wrestling, through its history, has had some pretty problematic material, and it can go to dark places very, very quickly. And there is a chance that someone may bring something up that you're not comfortable with. Now, if that happens, at any point, you can write X in the chat or hold up an X on the screen, or just say, I'd like to X card that. You don't have to give any context, but I may need to just get a little bit of a clarification on what the problematic material is. We'll redress the scene, focus it, and then move on without the problematic material. So yes, tonight we're playing Worldwide Wrestling, which is powered by the Apocalypse game that pits wrestlers against each other and the personas against each other in a wrestling show. So I've got four wonderful people with me tonight who are going to be playing those wrestlers. So I'm going to go through them in turn, left to right as I see it on the screen, and ask them to introduce themselves and their wrestler. So Joe, you're up first. Can you please tell me about your wrestler? Can you tell me about Rose Noire?
Absolutely. My name is Joe. Hi, everybody. Good to be here. Rose Noire is an up-and-coming star in Gage Valley Wrestling. She, until a little while ago, was a very typical face. She shook hands and kissed babies, and was really fun for the crowd. But she had a dark turn, and now she has become Rose Noire, and she's become this post-apocalyptic biker type, and she's here to smash anybody that gets in her way.
Excellent. And can I ask what playbook you're playing?
I am playing the Technician.
Brilliant.
Rose is based on a real-life professional wrestler people may have heard of, AJ Lee.
I may have heard of her. I may be one of her biggest fans. So, nice. So yes, the Queen of the Ring and someone who was frankly before her time.
Yes, very much so.
Okay, brilliant. So thank you for that, Joe. Now, next up, Paul. Are you there, buddy?
Hey, yeah, I'm here. Got my booze on. 1 second. Yeah, so I'm Janitor Jake, hailing out of the Gage Valley Mall. I like booze. I like weed. And I like kicking fucking ass.
It should be noted that the Gauntlet City Penitentiary does not endorse any of the opinions put forward by the wrestlers here tonight. That's brilliant. Can I ask what playbook you're playing? Or I think I have an idea of what playbook you're playing, but would you like to tell us?
WASTED, the Wasted.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to see the hijinks we get from you tonight, and the potential body count as well. Next up, we have Rachel, who's a new player for myself and someone who I'm looking forward to seeing how she handles the ropes and handles the ring. Can you tell us about your luchador, please, Rachel?
Yes, so I'm playing a luchador, and it's Te Chalotl. It's Nahuatl for squirrel, and typically the raiment for this Nahuatl would be sort of a red and white, but for the holidays, she's chosen to have this sort of celebration in this multicolored mask that she's wearing this time. And this is her first time in this roster. She's just traveling up from Mexico City and trying to test this out and see how it goes.
Brilliant. I'm looking forward to seeing how she plays. And finally, we have the Red Titan himself.
Yeah.
Robert,
So
can you can you tell us a bit about your character, please?
I think he's very much like an All-American. He probably wrestled in college, like legit wrestling, and then came in back into the pro wrestling arena, and he's just got the look. He's like 6'4", very well built, All-American, squeaky clean kind of guy, and someone backstage thinks it's a good idea to probably push him because he's just got the look, So I'm playing the Golden Boy.
Brilliant. And do you have an idea of who backstage may be pushing you?
I think there's probably an authority figure backstage that's known for just liking guys with just the right look and just wanting to push them, whether the fans really agree with it or not.
Brilliant. That's absolutely excellent. So we found out about the wrestlers. So now it's a bit time to find out a bit about their background as well. So each wrestler has a number of background questions they can use to establish connections with other characters in the game. It also adds to something called heat, which is stat that they have towards someone else, which determines how quickly they can actually gain the audience by being in matches with them. If they're ever in a match where at the end of the match they have 4 heat with their opponent, they gain an audience. And even though they can lose the match, the fans are still hugely stoked to actually see them wrestle. So it's important to keep track of your heat. So we'll start, go left to right again. Joe, can you ask your first background question, please?
Love to. So my favorite background heat question for Worldwide Wrestling: who was holding me back as my tag team partner?
Oh, I mean, I think seeing as if we're both heels, I think it would have to be Janitor Jake.
Nice.
Yeah, because I think Janitor Jake, he plays this kind of wasted kind of gimmick, but it's a real blurring the lines, nobody, because he has got substance abuse issues, and no one's never quite sure whether what's real in the ring and what's kind of just him putting it on. And yeah, maybe we were scheduled for a tag team championship match, and I was just passed out in a bar somewhere and didn't even show to the arena,
Yeah, had to change things up at the last minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I ask, Nose Noir, sorry, let me pronounce it properly. Not too long ago was a face and it was involved in a heel turn.
Yes.
So was Janitor Jake actually involved in that heel turn, and how did that play out?
I think so. I think Janitor Jake sort of took Rebel Rose, this sweet all-American Southern girl, and showed her the dark side. And I imagine this montage of the two of them doing this epic bender that for some reason there's a camera crew following them the whole time. And by the next day, Rose was no longer sweet and innocent. She was like, I've seen the darkness in humanity and I love it.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear. So Joe, can you please mark a point of heat towards Father Boozmas? I had to think about what you were called there for a moment, Paul.
Absolutely.
So Paul, can I have one of your background questions, please?
Yeah, sure. Who kicked my ass backstage most recently?
Okay, and this is open to anyone there.
I think I can take that one as Red Titan. I think maybe maybe we got into a fight or some kind of argument or disagreement at catering backstage, and words were said, and I had enough of it and decided to show everybody that I was capable of defending myself.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe like I imagine like the janitor Jake like really just ribs you constantly about being like the being the chosen one, and how you've got like creatives like rod up your ass all the time.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
I like it.
So, can I ask, when that leaked out onto the internet, how did the fans react?
Well, I think Red Titan. I think you should answer that, because you're the one who's actually got the fans. You're the heel. Like, you're the face rather. How did your fans take it?
I think some of them were happy. That I proved that I could defend myself backstage like that. But then there was also another chunk of the fans who were kind of disappointed that it was you that got your ass kicked and not me, because maybe they think I deserve it as being the chosen one and whatnot.
Oh, so it's very much a Roman Reigns situation then, is it? Where
Very much, yeah. That's what I was going for.
Some of the fans actually resent you for receiving the push, even though you might have earned it. They have their own favourites and are a bit salty about the fact that you're getting the limelight where they're not.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Okay. So with that said, Paul, can you please mark a point of heat towards Red Titan? And Techicotl, I'm sure I've got that wrong, but can we please have one of your heat questions?
Yes, and we have decided that because no one in America is ever going to get that right, none of the announcers are ever going to get that right, that they're probably going to call her just the Mexican Squirrel Girl without being offensive, obviously, because they can't figure out how to say her name.
Brilliant. And how's Marvel reacted? How has Marvel reacted to that? Given Squirrel Girl's one of their IPs.
I don't think it's a big enough IP for them to be worried about yet.
Excellent. So no letters from the lawyers then?
Not yet. So I think that my question is, who just doesn't understand Lucha Libre?
Anyone?
I feel like it might be Red Titan, just because it was all American.
I was kind of going to go with that as somebody who's wrestled in college, like he's been wrestling his whole life, and it's always been this American wrestling style. Like the Lucha Libre stuff just does not make a lick of sense to him.
So are you very much of the opinion that are you very much kayfabe, that wrestling is real, it's a proper sport, and none of this silliness should be in it? Is that the general attitude? Or
yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so please mark a heat towards Red Titan. Now, Red Titan, can I have one of your background heat questions, please?
Who's jealous of my rapid rise?
Well, that's definitely me. Rose has been doing Gage Valley for a while now, and I think part of the impetus for her heel turn was that she wasn't getting anywhere, and when she saw Red Titan come in and like really do well from the beginning and get that big push, I think she was like, okay, I have to do something different now.
Brilliant. So Red Titan, please mark heat to Rose Noir. So we swing round back to Rose again. Can I have your second heat question, please?
Yes, indeed. Who is trying to teach me to be more of an entertainer?
I could be. Of course, I'm new to this. I mean, just to encourage you to get up, jump off the ropes, do some flips, Maybe there's a cut screen of us in the background, me like showing you how to do the leap. And you just maybe not quite get it.
Yeah. Wow. Boom.
Brilliant. Okay, so please mark heat towards Techicotl. And Paul, can I have your second heat question, please?
Who did I last injure whilst I was high in the ring?
Ooh. Does anyone want to take that?
I'm thinking I can take that, and maybe that was part of the reason why we did get into a fight backstage. So I was still kind of pissed off about getting hurt in the ring.
Yeah, cool. I'm cool with that. Gerwin, is that okay? Like mechanical wise, like having your two heat questions the same person?
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah, cool.
It just means that the fans will look forward to seeing you fight. Fight all the more.
Cool. Then yeah, I'm cool with that, Red Titan. I mean, if that that can be like you said, that can be the instigation for our brawl kind of backstage. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
How did I injure you?
I think probably we went for some kind of table spot, and you just dropped me on the table weird. Like you weren't carrying my entire weight.
I think if I was going to injure you, I want to do something to your face because you're like the golden boy. You know, I kind of like it's almost like cut you open somehow and actually like kind of left a scar, like a small scar somewhere on the face. Okay,
maybe we did a like a ripped turnbuckle type thing, and you just really ran my face hard into it.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And it was like an all ages show, and there was like blood everywhere, and the kids were crying, and everything was a fucking mess. Yeah.
Brilliant. So okay, so please mark heat towards Red Titan. Now, Techikotl, this is going to get easier the more I say it. So can I have your next background question, please?
Who is trying to convince me to change my style, my mask, or both?
I'd actually like to take that one.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I think in return for the wanting to the learning how to be more showy, I think trying to lead you down a road of like, yeah, the leaping up the turnbuckle is great and the jumping through the ropes is great, but eventually you're going to have to learn how to do something like lower impact, or you're just going to wreck your knees, and that's going to be it for you.
Right. I love it.
Okay, so please mark heat towards Rose Noir. So Red Titan, can I have your next background question, please?
Yeah, who has taken it upon themselves to teach me a lesson in the ring?
Anyone?
Well, I think that, especially, I'm not sure if I would want to answer that one, since I was kind of thinking that this might be her first entrance to this sort of little league, unless we'd done a few things together. What do you think?
Have you wrestled in a different league together?
Ooh, that might be a good thought.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so in which case, please mark the heat. Now, everyone has 2 background questions left. They'll get to ask one of those, so you get to choose which you ask. So we'll go to Joe. We'll go to Rose Noir.
Yes, that one. Who's jealous of my skills? Come on, it's okay. You can admit it.
Yeah, I think Janitor Joe is very jealous, because he's been around the block quite a bit, but and all of his matches, they tend to get really fucking messy, and he picks up a lot of injuries, and like if only he could kind of have that sheen of technicality that you could have, then maybe his life would be a lot easier.
I like it.
If he could make it look like bumps really hurt rather than them actually really hurting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So mark heat. Okay, and next up, Father Boozmus. Can I have your last heat question, please?
Who thinks that I'm a curse for Gage Valley Wrestling?
I'll take it if no one else does.
Well, you don't need to take it if you don't want to. We can have an NPC actually do that if you want.
No, I feel like she would probably feel like his issues are a curse, but
Mm. And is that quite literally like a curse, like a kind of a sort of Incan kind of curse from the gods?
Okay, so please mark it.
Cool.
And Techicotl, can I have your last heat question, please?
okay. Let's see here. Who thinks I don't deserve my mask or overall look? Did I ask that one already? I don't think I did.
No, I don't think you did.
I'll take that. Yeah, I think you come swanning in to Gage Valley Wrestling with all this glitzy mask stuff. Like, you don't need that. It's all just show. You need to get down and dirty, and that's what really connects with the fans.
Excellent.
I love it.
Okay. So can I just ask Titan? Can we have your last background question, please?
Yeah. Who did I debut with and leave behind?
Anyone?
Yeah, I'll take that one actually. I think that maybe at some point, yeah, I was tagging with Father Business, but I think at one point you and I were working together back when I was a face, and sort of did like the whole matching outfits, power couple thing. But then as soon as you took off and got the big push, then that whole thing shattered, and I was left on my own, and you were heading up the ladder.
Yeah, I like it.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's all of the background questions done. So we're ready to start. Does anyone want to grab a break before we do so?
Yeah, could we take like a 5-minute break before we start?
That's brilliant. If we come back at round about quarter past, round about, should we say 20 past?
Yeah, that's perfect.
20 past the hour. Brilliant.
Cool. See you soon, everyone.
See you soon. Okay, brilliant. So I have the card worked out. Brilliant. So are we just waiting for Robert now? Rachel, don't worry. The story is the most important side of this. This is a narrative. This is a narrative game. It's not about winning or losing. It's about telling a story and having a good time, and not rolling double ones on your promos. I botched 3 in a row on the first 3 games that I did on Lowell's 12 games.
It's one thing reading the directions, and it's another thing hearing the directions, but it's totally different actually playing the game. So
Yes.
I learned by playing, really the best. So again, thank you all for your patience with me.
No worries.
No worries.
Okay. So it's a dark and grey day in the middle of December. The rain is falling down outside, and the bus that takes the wrestlers in through the main compound gate drives everyone slowly towards this big sports hall and auditorium where the stage has been set up. As you drive through, you're literally sitting on a prison bus, and everyone's out of their normal clothing. So, sorry, everyone's in their normal street clothing. Tetracotl, are you wearing your mask?
Always.
Excellent. True lucha. So you drive through, and you can see that there are several groups of inmates huddled together in the few areas of cover from the rain, and everyone looks soaked and miserable. The guards are walking around in their wet weather gear, and you can just feel the Christmas spirit oozing off them, as well as the sarcasm. And no one, even the bus driver, doesn't look happy to be here. So he pulls up at the auditorium, pops open the door. Right, everyone, we're here. Time to get going. And this blonde woman, beautiful blonde woman, stands up at the front of the bus, and everyone recognizes her. This is Tallulah Dixie. Normally, she's the interviewer that does the backstage interviews at the show, but tonight she's the on-screen management. She is here to actually manage you and manage the show. And she stands up. She pulls down her immaculate blue business suit with the skirt that's just a little bit too short and too impractical for the show. And she stands up and goes, "Okay, everyone, we're here. If everyone can just go inside, and we'll find your dressing rooms. Now, we are going to have to share dressing rooms, unfortunately. This isn't a luxury establishment. So, Rose, Chicago, Mama Bear," and there's this huge woman sitting at the back of the bus. She's a veritable giant with big, bushy brunette hair and muscles oozing out of every seam of her clothing. She looks up. "Oh, yeah. You lot are with me? Guys, I'll put you into the hands of the capable Chief Watson." And she points down to the door of the bus where a guard the security chief stands there in his wet weather gear. It's a really muscular guy, bald head. You can see that he's actually got where his sleeves are short, you can actually see he's got military tattoos on him. So it's a big black guy, and he goes, "Okay, everyone off the bus. I need to free up this unit for transporting prisoners. Come on, come on."
Okay. And like Janitor Jake kind of he'll sort of stand up and he's like, yeah. Hey, Mr. Lula, don't you worry. We're all professionals here. We're going to be on our best behavior. As he's like tucking like a bottle of like whiskey like up his trouser leg, and like trying to hide it like under there.
Okay, so everyone files off. You file into the building, and as you step into the building, the chief turns around and with his nightstick out, he stops Janitor Jake. "Not you, boy.
Oh, come on, man. What's the problem?
I want to have a look in that bag. I've heard about you."
Yeah, sure. You want to go through my sweaty gym socks? No problem. And I'll pick up the holdall and just like, unzip it and like literally empty it all out onto the fucking pavement. And go, yeah, root through it. Be my guest.
He kicks around. Are there any drinks in there?
Occasionally, there might be a protein shake in there. You know, I'm
Okay.
a professional athlete. I have to keep myself buff.
Are there any props in there?
Props.
Yes. Are there
well-
empty cans of lager or anything?
Well, yeah, you know, that's my gimmick, you know. So yeah, you might find there's like a bottle of whiskey in there or something, but you know, you can take a sniff of that. It's just dyed water. You know?
Okay, he opens it up. Okay, you're clear. But I'm going to have my eyes on you, boy. I'm going to have my eyes on you.
And pretty baby blue eyes they are. So
He grunts and puts his nightstick away. Now tidy up that mess.
I
And
lean over to Techaloti.
Yes.
Yes.
To
I
Mexican
lean
Squirrel
over-
Girl.
Mexican Squirrel Girl. As we're walking away, and I mutter in Spanish, "If this goes south, we ditch him first. How's that sound?" Pointing over at Jake.
I nod
okay,
with
so
eyebrows raised that you can't see because they're in the mask.
So everyone gets led to the dressing rooms. There is these basically look like storage cupboards that have been had everything ripped out and had some folding seats put down in them for people to actually sit on while they're changing, and some hooks basically knocked into the wall to hang things on. So yeah, this is high budget. Also,
Look, it's our usual accommodations, I say as I walk in.
Also, as you look around, you can see that there's water coming in from the roof in several places, and there are buckets and bins and containers put out to catch the drips.
Nice of them to provide us with water.
So everyone goes and gets changed, and Tallulah gathers you all in the corridor outside the entrance to the ring. Okay, y'all. So this is how it goes down. Hands up who's wrestled in a cage here before. Okay. Well, congratulations. I got some good news for you. Tonight's venue, we have to have some protection between us and the fans. So there's a cage up over the entire performance area. So this is the ring. This is outside the ring, including the ramp. Now, I don't want you all to be provoking the fans. So you heels, you can provoke them, but don't get them throwing stuff at you, because the smallest stuff may get through that. Also, you may not want to get too close to that cage if it does get rowdy. Okay. So, Titan, Titan, my boy. I got something I want you to do.
Gladly.
You're going to open the show for us. Big strapping man that you are. Big strapping hero, shining hero of American values. And there's nothing America loves more than Christmas. And she takes out a Santa Claus hat and throws it to you. Now, I would like you to open the show. I want you to go out there and welcome the fans, welcome them here, ask them to take Christmas into their heart. And Boozmas. Jake.
Yes, Tallulah.
I want you to go and rain on his parade.
Oh, I won't just rain on his parade. I'll piss all over that parade, I tell you.
Remember where we are.
Yeah, some of these guys might like getting pissed on.
That's not what I meant. Look, guys, this is important to me. I've been doing interviews now in this thing for 2 years. This is my chance to actually move forward. This is my chance to actually become proper management. Please don't muck this up for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would like pat Red Titan on the back, and I'm like, yeah, we'll work a tight professional show, won't we, boy?
Yeah, good luck, kid.
Nice.
Okay, so the way we're gonna do this at the moment. So Titan and Boozmas, you're opening the show. You have you get to go out there and cut promos, and then we'll have you go into a match. Following that, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to have a conversation with our Mexican friend here. And we're going to talk about the ways that Christmas is celebrated in Mexico. And Squirrel Girl, Dechicotle, I've hidden some presents out there. So you know how squirrels like to hide nuts. We've put some presents out there for you to actually go and find and throw to the audience. Well, I say throw to the audience. You have to pass them through. There's only small gaps in the bars. So we'll have you go. We'll have our interview. We'll have you go and do that. And Rose, yeah, can you come when we've had a nice shine on that? Can you come in and break up that as well? And we'll have that transition into a match.
Oh, I definitely can figure out something.
Okay. Then finally, what we're going to do, we're going to actually have a tag team match.
Ooh.
So the final match of the night will be Titan and Techcotle versus Boozmas and Rose Noir. Rose Noir, sorry. I can never pronounce your name properly. I do apologize.
It's fine, Tallulah.
Well, I preferred you as Rebel Rose, but you know, Rebel's close to my heart.
I know, but I never got that accent right.
Well, don't worry, neither have I. I'm a Boston girl, really, but... Okay, so let's get started. So, Titan, I'm going to go out to the ring. I'm going to play your music, and if you want to come down, we'll start your segment.
Hey, sounds good to me.
Okay.
I'm the one that they're here for anyway, so...
Keep that in mind, Bar, and you won't go wrong. So she comes over, and as she walks past you, her hand lingers on your shoulder, and it traces your arm in slightly uncomfortable way as she walks past, and grabs a mic, and walks down to the ring. As she walks outside, you can hear people cheering more than cheering, and you can hear a doom as the bass speakers are turned on, and your music hits. What is your music? What is your entrance?
I think it's probably something I want to say very generic and American. Like I'm almost thinking like something similar to like Kurt Angle's theme music, if you're familiar. Yeah, it's very all American.
Yes. Okay. So something very something like a collegiate marching band or something would play. So okay, so your music hits, the lights come on, the lights flash round. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the ring the one, the only, the Red Titan! And you step up to the curtains, and through you go. And yeah, this place is a shithole. This place is an absolute shithole. You can see that the actual they've got rank seating, but you can actually see that all the chairs are actually chained together, so people can't pick them up and throw them. And this gym is in just as bad condition as the rooms that you were in previously. You can actually see water dripping down from the ceiling in some places where the roof hasn't properly been waterproofed. It's really cold and clammy. There's a very distinctive chill. It's only when you're actually under the lights itself that you actually feel any warmth, and that's just coming from the bulbs. So you step out to the top of the ramp. You get handed a microphone. And what do you say?
Gage Valley Penitentiary, I'm so happy to be here tonight. You have no idea how much it means to me to see so many of my fans out there. And, you know, we're here tonight to celebrate Christmas and to celebrate America. This is a real American Christmas. No happy holidays here, just Merry Christmas. That's what we're here for tonight. And we're going to make sure that all of you have a very Merry Christmas.
Brilliant. So first of all, because you referenced the penitentiary name, I'd like you to gain 1 momentum for using the move called Cheap Heat.
I didn't even know that was a move, but good.
Yep. So at any point you can, for example, a heel can do Cheap Heat by showing up to a city in the sports shirt of a opposing city's team that they have a rivalry with, or by insulting the fans or calling out the city by name. The Rock was famous for it. Finally, The Rock has come back too! And that's a perfect example of trying to get cheap heat. So yeah, by calling out the penitentiary name, get a momentum, and after you've done that, I would like you to roll for a promo, please. So I'd like you to roll 2d6 and add your luck.
It's a 9.
Okay, so on a 9 on cut a promo, you can do one of the following things. You get them to pay attention. You can make creative book you in a match. You can add a stipulation to a relevant match. You can gain 1 momentum, or you can gain +1 heat with the subject of your promo.
I'll just go ahead and gain 1 momentum.
Okay, brilliant. So as you're discussing with the crowd, another set of music hits.
Yeah, it's this scratchy vinyl recording of I saw Mummy kissing Santa Claus.
Is it in the minor key by any chance?
Yeah, totally. And then I kind of come out through the curtain in this raggedy ass sort of Santa suit with this prop bottle of whiskey, and I'm like swinging for it. I'm like, oh, turn this shit off, and I sort of go over to the iPod and wrestle with the guy and thing, press play, and this really raucous punk rock music kind of comes out, and I'm like, that's better. Come stomping down to the ring. So
you head down to the ring, and as you're heading down to the ring, and as you're wrestling for control of the actual iPod, the sound unit, it actually cuts onto Wham for a second, and everyone gets whammed. And the crowd are booing you at that. No one likes Wham at Christmas.
Yeah, And I'm giving him the finger back. I'm like, fuck off. Like that.
So yeah, can you gain cheap heat as well for doing that, please?
Oh, that's not as cheap as I get. I get cheaper than that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going down. I'm like, you fucking felons, you don't deserve Christmas. You deserve to be locked up in solitary confinement, you idiots. You know, the trouble is with you guys, you're stupid. You know, I'm a hill. I lie, I cheat, and I steal in that ring. But the thing is, I don't get caught for it, and you idiots all got caught, and that's why you're here.
So yes, definitely gain cheap heat for that.
Yeah.
You can see several of them are actually reaching up to the barrier to try and reach through to snatch the whiskey from you.
Love it.
So, okay, you get to the ring. And what do you do when you get to the ring?
I just like go straight over to to Red Titan. I just like grab the mic like kind of out of his hand, kind of sort of push him out of the way. And I'm like, Red Titan, Red Titan, Red Titan. Look at you, like dressed up like some kind of pedophile Santa.
And the crowd react to that. And you can see the guards actually start laying in some verbal admonition to them. And you can see one section of the actual crowd is very, very quiet.
Yeah. And I'm like, you're just out here, I'm slurring my words. I'm like, you're out here trying to butter up all these cons and these felons by telling them how wonderful they are and how wonderful Christmas is and that. You're just trying to brown nose them. I'm sure they get enough of that in the shower block.
Okay, can you? I think in this instance, do you think you're cutting a promo?
Oh, definitely.
Or do you think you're working the audience?
Ooh, no, I'm cutting a promo here.
Okay, so can you roll plus luck then, please?
Yeah, cool. So my luck is 2. So that's a 6. So I roll an 8.
Okay, so you get the same. You can make me book you in a match. You can add a stipulation to a relevant match. You can gain +1 momentum, or you can gain +1 heat with the target of your promo.
Yeah. So I think I want to add a stipulation to the match.
Brilliant. What are you adding?
Yeah. So I'm gonna sort of say how he's showing off all of his kind of golden boy technical skills, but these people want to see him get down and dirty and nasty and rude. So I call for a no disqualification match.
And Tulula picks up the mic. Are you sure you want that? Are you sure you want that in this place where the rules count?
In this ring, I say, there ain't no rules apart from the rules that Father Boozmus makes up. And my rules are no rules.
And Tallulah turns round to Red Titan. And what you have to say to that?
If he wants no disqualification, no disqualification. I'm fine with it.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a match. Okay, so please, ref, ring the bell. And she goes over and she tries to get under the rope. And as she gets under the rope, you notice the top rope is a little bit looser than it should be. And she slips through, and you suspect the people actually tightening the ring haven't tightened the actual cables properly. So she slips out. She goes down to where the counter is, and she rings the bell. Ding, ding! Now, I think in this instance, Red Titan is actually, as the shining hero, as the face. I think you start with control of the match. So, what do you do? What do you do to Father Boozmas? How do you start the match?
I think as soon as the ring hit, or as soon as the bell hits, I'm just starting off, just laying into him with punches.
Okay, so bang, bang, bang. And what effect do you think those punches have?
I think it, probably he gets knocked off balance for a little bit, and I've probably got him from the corner, just really laying into him, punches to the head, punches to the stomach.
Okay, brilliant. So I would like you to roll a wrestling move using your work, please.
That is a 5.
Okay, so something goes wrong. There's a botch as part of this. So you give up. You give Father Boosmus 1 momentum, and he takes control of the match. Unless you want to spend momentum to raise that to a 7.
No, I'll go give him control.
Okay. So, Father Boosmus, gain a momentum, and can you describe what the botch is and how you take control of the match?
Yeah, like I think like as we kind of go into it, I kind of like I whisper into Red Titan's ear. I'm like, come on, make this look good, like really, tee off on me. But like, and you start kind of working with these punches, but they're like really kind of late. They're like obviously like not connecting with me at all. You're kind of like missing by like a good couple of inches, and like all the crowd just like are like, oh yeah, what's this shit? What is it? And then people go, what is this fake? Is this all fake? And people start booing.
Okay. So how do you take the match forward? What do you do to take this to the next stage?
Yeah, I think I kind of reverse. I sort of get Red Titan like in a headlock, and I've gotten down. I'm like, boy, you've got a lot to learn. If you want to make it look real, it's got to look real. And I sort of slam him into the turnbuckle, jump up on the turnbuckle, and start really like working him. And like these punches, they're not actually full on like actually hitting you, but they are like making contact. So it's going to leave like a little bit of bruising. So I'm actually working him in the corner.
Okay, so you say, is this something that's part of your gimmick, or is this actually a legitimate wrestling move?
And this is a legitimate. Well, it's actually work. Isn't it? It's real, isn't it? I'm actually really making it.
So, so real normally isn't used for rolling wrestling moves. In this case, if you're trying to make it look real, you'd need to roll luck.
Yep. Okay.
Or cool. Actually, no, sorry, my mistake. Roll work, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I shall. Seven. What is my work? I don't know. My work. So that's a 7.
Okay, so you can choose. You can either keep control, or you can gain a momentum and pass control back to Red Titan.
I'm going to gain a momentum. Like the crowd kind of like they love this. They're like, yeah. See, some guy in the front row, he leans over to his mate and he's like, see, I told you this was real. They're going to kick the shit out of each other. And they all start sort of cheering.
Okay, so Titan, how do you turn the tables? He's got you in the corner. He's got you up there. He's up on the ropes. He's smacking you down. What do you do to stop it, and what moves do you go into to actually to counter that and take it to the next part?
I think as he's teeing off on me, I start blocking a little bit here and there, and then kind of just end up picking him up and going to like a running power slam.
Oh, nice. So in this instance, a power slam, that's quite a powerful move. Are you doing this with power, or are you actually doing this as work?
I think I would do that with power. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. So can you roll with power then, please?
That's a 7.
Okay. So again, you can keep control, or you can gain a momentum and pass control over to Father Boosmus.
I'll gain a momentum. Yeah.
Okay. So you slam him into the actual mat. What happens then? Oh, actually, before we continue, there's something I forgot. When a match is going on, one of the other characters gets to do commentary. Well, one of the other players gets to do commentary. Joe, Rachelle, would either of you two like to do commentary on this match?
Rachelle, did you want to try that? Okay, I'll take it.
Okay. Now, there's one thing that the commentator can actually do for each person once per night. which is at any point the commentator, by describing what's just happened in a very over-the-top means, can actually put someone over. So after the dice has been rolled, the commentator can actually choose to increase the level of success by 1. So if you've rolled a botch, it goes to a partial success, and a partial success becomes a full success. Okay, so Red Titan, you've just power slammed Father Boozmus into the middle of the ring. Father Boozmus, control goes to you. How do you get out of that? What happens going forward?
I like really sell it, I'm like, grabbing my back, and I sort of rolled into the ropes, as and grab the ropes, and as Red Titan's going to kind of start laying into me in a normal match, you'd have to sort of stop because I'm grabbing the ropes, and I play like into, because I know that Red Titan, like his mindset is to follow the rules, even though it's a no disqualification match. I'm like, oh no, you can't hit me, don't hit me, I'm holding the ropes.
And Father Boozmus seems to have forgotten that he asked for this to be a no disqualification match. But then again, with the amount of booze he's probably already had today, he probably doesn't remember much.
And then as kind of Red Titan's kind of looking a bit confused with the whole thing, I sort of kick his legs out from underneath him, and I reach like down behind me and I pull out, like I've got this like really crappy like kind of Santa's like sack, stocking type thing, that you put all the gifts in, and I put it over his head like from behind, so he's kind of completely covered in this.
Okay, I think that's very much a luck move.
Yeah,
and folks, I can tell you from here that sock does not smell good.
Okay, so can you roll plus luck, please?
Yeah. Oh, I rolled a 6. But I'm going to use my momentum. Can I use momentum to put that up to 7?
Yeah, by all means. 1 point of momentum, we'll put that up.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so I'm going to use one of my momentum to put it up.
Okay, so the same thing applies. You can keep control of the match, or you can pass control over and gain a momentum.
I'm going to keep control of the match, I think.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, Red Titan, you can spend a momentum at any point to take back control of the match if you want. Okay, so Father Boozmus.
Yeah, and while like Red Titan, he's staggering around the ring, like kind of with this this stocking like over his head, not being able to see. And I pull out my my bottle of whiskey with the fake kind of whiskey in it, and I just like swigging it, and I'm like, and I'm working the crowd up. I'm like, offering it to them kind of through the cage, and every time they go to grab it, I pull it back, and I'm like, Wah!
Okay, and at this point, one of the
give the booze, Jake. You can't do that. They were very clear as we were coming in. It's not allowed.
Okay, and at this point, one of the backstage extras, dressed up as one of the guards, runs down to try and stop you. But Lula Dixie stands up and points out that no, this is a no disqualification match. I think you're muted, Paul.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, so I'm working the audience there by sort of teasing them.
Can you roll plus audience then, please?
Okay, my audience is currently 2.
That's right.
I'm gonna roll. So I rolled a 9.
Okay, so on a 9, you get to pick one. You gain control. You gain 1 point of momentum. You take control of the match if you're in one.
Okay, I'm going to gain 1 momentum here.
Okay, so while he's working the audience, Titan, this is your opportunity. You currently have a Santa sack on your head. It's easy enough to pull off after the appropriate time and the appropriate exercise. So what do? He's fully distracted. He's waving whiskey in front of the actual guards. In front of the inmates, and they're reaching out to grab it, and he's pulling it back, and he's not paying any attention to you whatsoever.
Yeah, so I think I pulled that sack off my head, and I run up and basically hold him up against the cage, like letting whoever have free reign of him.
Excellent. Okay, so in this case, can I? Oh, what do I count that as? can you roll with plus audience as well, please? Because I think the audience are going to respond to this.
And Red Titan making use of the well, I guess of the audience. I don't know if that counts as a foreign object, but this is still a no disqualification match.
So that's just a that would be a 5, and then I'll use a momentum to bump it up to a 7.
Okay, so in that case, you can gain 1 momentum, or you can take control of the match. Keep control of the match.
Yeah, I'll keep control of the match.
Okay, so now I've got an important question to actually ask Father Boozmas. Was that a plastic bottle or was it a glass one?
This is like it's a sugar glass bottle. It's like a prop bottle,
Okay.
so you can smash it on someone's head and it will just like kind of explode.
Brilliant. So as you're pushed up, the bottle goes through the actual the mesh, and people are struggling with it. And as they're struggling with it, it shatters in their hands. And you see that one of the people sitting right at the front that wasn't paying attention is this big tattooed inmate, and the contents of the glass, the contents of the bottle, go straight down his face. And he stands up, and when he stands up, the people that were fighting over the bottle all back up. And he must be 6'5", 6'6". And he leans up to the actual cage wall, and he's just glaring at you through it.
Yeah, oh god. And I think quite audibly, I'm like, I'm like to Red Titan. I'm like, get me to the other corner. Get me away from this cage now.
Okay, so Titan, you have control.
Folks, I just want to remind everybody that no touching of the wrestlers. Yes, that is definitely in the rules in our rider for tonight. Or the announcers, for that matter.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think I'm like trying to actually get him for real hurt. So I do pull him away, which is kind of funny because it's almost what he was doing to the audience with the bottle. And now I'm doing it with him. So I pull him away and probably just throw him into the stairs.
Okay, and as you go to pull him away, the prisoner reaches through the mesh, reaches through the actual cage, and grabs the front of his shirt. In order to get him off there, we're going to require a feat of strength. As Father Boozmas is pulled bang into the barrier.
Okay, so I'm rolling plus power.
You're rolling plus power on a feat of strength.
That is an 8.
Okay, so on an 8, it's an obvious effort. You gain 1 momentum, and your opponent or creative picks 1. So I think as you pull back, there's a ripping noise, and Father Boozmas's costume gets ripped. But in addition to that, as he pulls back, you can see that there's a huge bruise on his shoulder where the actual guy was holding him. And Father Boozmas, I think you pick up an injury.
Yeah, like the guy like grabs my arm. It kind of like it jerks my kind of shoulder like out of its socket. And I'm like, oh, holy fuck, what is this? A festive tug of Boozmas? Leave Santa alone, you bastard.
So, Titan, as you move him back into the corner of the ring, you can see that the actual prison guards are descended on this inmate. And what you notice that the camera is recording the actual match for the online pay-per-view. Cut to the basically all turned to the corner, and none of the cameras are actually looking in that direction. So the guy who stood up, he gets beat down. He gets beat down hard and quickly, and the guards are not pleasant in how they do it. So you've got Father Boozmas in the corner. You're in the ring together. What do you do?
I think I've got him down. Like he's like sitting in the corner, and I'm just legging kicks. Basically just stomping a mud hole. Basically.
Brilliant.
It's a savage beating going on in the ring, folks. It's massive. It's horrible.
You asked for this. You asked for this.
Brilliant. Can you roll plus work, please?
Oh, 6. I'll go and spend momentum to make it 7.
People are getting some sucky rolls tonight.
Yeah.
Where are all the 10s and 11s? And okay, so at this point, you get to either keep gain 1 momentum and pass control to Boozmas, or you can keep it for your. You can keep control of the match for yourself.
I'll take a momentum and give control.
Brilliant. Okay, so Boozmas, you are being kicked in the corner. How do you How do you counter this? How do you come out of this? How do you take control of the match?
Yeah, like I grabbed like a Red Titan's boot, and I'm like, this, I'll show you a real tug of war. And I sort of stand up and start like tugging on his boot, so he's hopping around the ring like on one leg.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go whoa, and actually pull his boot try and pull his boot straight off his foot.
Brilliant.
Is trying to replace the stocking he lost earlier, folks.
Brilliant. So what do you think that is? Do you think that's actually a luck thing, or do you think that's actually power, or?
I think that's a look thing, definitely.
Okay. So can you roll a wrestling move plus luck then, please?
Okay, sure. 5. That's a 7.
Okay. So standard rules apply. You can keep control, or you can give up control and gain 1 momentum.
I'm going to keep control.
Okay.
Yeah, and I pull the boot off, and I'm like, I sort of give it a sniff, and I'm like, oh man, oh, this is disgusting. I'm like, oh, this is your Christmas gift to Father Boozmas? You should be ashamed of yourself, boy. Well, you know what's trendy these days? Re-gifting. And I'm going to slam the boot like back in his face.
Okay, and
I guess Father Boozmas is now putting the boot to the Red Titan.
Yeah. And then like I'm gonna whisper like in Red Titan's here. I'm gonna be like, this crowd is getting like out of control, man. I think we should take it home now. We got to finish this match now.
okay.
And I'm gonna.
Sorry, one of the things I was going to say, your finishing move actually works slightly different to everyone else's. You can do yours at any point, even if you're not booked to win.
Yeah, and that's it. And I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to go for my finisher.
Okay, so who has control of the match at the moment?
I do.
You kept control. Okay, so in which case, then can you roll your finisher? That's 2 dice straight.
Yeah, so my finisher is going to be called it's going to be the drunken sleigh ride, but SLAY like that. And it's like a big like sort of running power bomb thing where I sort of get you on my shoulders and then jump up, bang, slam you down like that.
Brilliant. Can you roll 2 dice then, please?
Yep. So it's just a straight roll, isn't it? There's no
straight roll. You can modify it with momentum, and it can be put over.
Hey, I rolled a 10.
Okay, so what do you get on a 10?
That's on my special move, isn't it?
Yes.
Finisher, moneymaker. When you go for your finisher, whether you're booked to win or not, on a 10+, you hit it clean, gain +1 audience.
Okay, so gain +1 audience. So you've done that.
God, out of nowhere, the drunken sleigh ride.
You've done that. It seems obvious that you're due to win this match, but you know what? That's not how the bookers had planned it. Because Red Titan is their favorite. He is the one destined to take it forward, and like any other Golden Boy before him and after him, he is booked to actually win this match. So you lay out your finishing move, and everyone's and ahhing, and you go for the pin.
Yeah, and it's a 1, a 2.
And just at the last second, he's up. And Red Titan, how do you transition into your finisher? And how do you win the match?
So I think I kick out of the pin, and Father Boozmas is kind of like livid, and he gets up and he's just ranting and raving, and I'm across the ring from him, and then I just hit him with my finisher, which is a spear, and I think it's called the snap.
Brilliant. Again, college football. I love it. Okay, so can you roll?
I can't believe it.
Can you roll your finisher, please? 2 dice, unmodified.
That's 6.
Okay,
So
well, you get to
I'll use
spend
another
momentum.
one. Yeah.
And are you putting him over, Joe?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so it knocks it up to the next layer. So if you spend 1 to put it up to 7, and Joe puts you over, that puts you at a 10 for this.
Yep.
So what do you get on a 10 plus?
On 10 plus, you hit your finisher clean, gain 1 audience.
Brilliant. So you gain an audience out of this as well. So, do either of you two have a heat of 4 with the other person?
No, 3.
Okay. Titan, what's your heat with Father Boozmus?
1.
Okay. So neither of you gain the extra audience. And the crowd are riled up. This match has been really good. It's got the crowd invested. You can see the actual little trick with the actual booze bottle and it going down. The inmate down there has actually really got the crowd spirit up. They're stamping their feet. They're shouting, "Who's next? Who's next? Who's next?" And you don't know if they actually mean which wrestlers are next or which inmate's going to be attacked next by the guards. So, Tallulah comes backstage as you both come off. And, okay, Tejkatel, are you ready, huh?
See.
Okay. Now, there's a big Mexican population to this prison. So, you've got all the different subcultures. You've got the different gangs here. So there's quite a bit of Mexican folk out there. There's also a little bit of Aryan nation. So be careful. Don't get too close to that section. So, okay, are you ready? Okay, let's go. And she holds up in a typical white person thing that is totally out of place. She holds up her hand for a fist pump.
She'll do it. It's slow, but
And she even does chow.
And you see the head cock just a little bit. Like, was I supposed to do that too? I don't know if I'm supposed to do that too. Kind of looking around for help there, but then I just move forward.
Okay, so your music hits. And what is your music? What is your entrance?
It's because of the stereotype that that America has about Mexican people. It does have a lot of the mariachi horns and the guitar. So it starts off with this sort of strumming guitar sound, and then in the background there's the squirrel noise. Like, just you're not really sure what it is, but it's the squirrel noise. If you've ever heard squirrels in real life, just and then that's when she comes out of the curtain. Once the squirrel noise hits, and so then there's some horns going, and she'll come down the ramp. And in her usual card back in Mexico, she has this gimmick where she hands out, paper masks to all the kids that are watching. And she would normally have this whole other gimmick where where kids get to come up and try to throw a marshmallow in her mouth. And if she catches all of them, it's a good omen, that kind of thing. But that's obviously not going to happen here. So not at all. So she kind of has to improvise, and she goes up to kind of flip up over the rope, but she notices that they aren't quite tightened enough. And so she sees Tallulah, and she kind of gives points down like, this isn't right. And not knowing if that's going to get fixed or not, she'll continue to start working the crowd.
Okay. With Tallulah nods. She nods her encouragement. You're not quite sure if she's understood what you've actually said, but she's yeah.
So knowing that, she'll probably try not to depend on the ropes quite as much as she would normally.
Okay.
So she'll climb up on the each of the poles and say some various things. My Spanish actually is not very good, so just rallying to that population.
Okay. So while you're in the ring, there's the Gagetron, the actual video display, It's much smaller than normal, and it's actually inside the cage that they've built. It comes on, and it's an old-fashioned film. And you know those old-fashioned educational films that tell you about different animals, do 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 do, and it cuts, and it comes up to this man in a white lab coat with wild hair. Oh, hello, children. My name is Professor Chaos. That's K. Oz. And I am the chief biologicalist here at Gauntlet Labs. Isn't that right, Igorovich? Oh, yes, master. Yes. Oh, so I'm here to tell you a little bit about the habits of the lesser-known Mexican squirrel. The Mexican squirrel likes to hide presents and hide little things around the place. Oh, and you never know. If you look under your chairs and you look under your tables, you may find something there. Do you think they'll find something there, Igorovich? Oh, yes, master. Yes. And it cuts down, and it's back to you in the ring. And would you like to cut a promo?
I think she typically does that after the other person's come out, kind of
Okay.
as in your face or just kind of a high flying thing that she does
Okay.
instead of doing it beforehand.
So, Rose Noir, your music hits. What is your music?
Well,
What is your entrance?
So here's what's happening. So they're handing out these gifts to the inmates. They're doing this whole gift shtick. And that's all going pretty well. And then suddenly there's the music doesn't hit, but there's like people start hearing sort of off in the distance this familiar music. And then they look over at the entrance and Rose has come out. Rose is dressed like a post-apocalyptic Christmas elf. She's got this horribly burnt and Christmas bag, and she's actually carrying this tiny. She got like some kind of rig hooked up. She got a tiny speaker on her shoulder, which is of course playing "Last Christmas" by Wham. And I'm going to take that as a cheap heat if you don't mind.
By all means, yes. The crowd has very much been whammed at this point, and they are not happy about it.
And she starts reaching into her pack and handing stuff out like through the thing to the audience. But what she grabs out, she's grabbing like everything that she brings out is wrapped in like old socks or like newspapers from last year. Like it's all stuff that you would sort of find as contraband in prison. And when they open the gifts, it's like toothbrushes and
okay. And as you hand it out, you hand it around, and then you notice the Mexican gang is reacting rather badly. The video cuts in, and the actual newspapers that you've wrapped up your gifts in,
yeah,
apparently they were from the day Donald Trump got elected.
Oh God. I'm gonna say that was accidental.
and the Mexican folk in the audience are just jeering you. They're booing. They're crumpling up the wrapping paper and throwing it at the actual cage and
throwing it back. And I'm just like, yeah, I know, yeah.
Okay, so would you like to cut a promo, or would you like to actually work the audience?
I'm going to start with working the audience.
Okay, so can you roll plus audience then, please?
Would love to. Let's see how that goes.
Or would you like to take cheap heat?
Well, I've taken cheap heat.
Okay.
So I've got that one momentum from that.
Oh yes, of course. Sorry, you're quite right.
So I will roll work the audience. Oh, I have gotten a 4.
Okay,
that's
so
5.
Okay, so the Mexicans and the Latino in the audience are extremely pissed at you
Not liking it.
and not liking it at all.
No. That was the part of the audience I was kind of counting on.
And they really, really don't like it.
Just
Can you lose one audience, please?
absolutely.
Does that take you to 0?
That does take me to 0.
So can you please gain an advance straight away?
Yes. And for that advance, I will take an audience.
Okay.
Because let's do not want to get fired on this show.
It probably boosted the Aryan population's favoritism as well.
Yeah, probably. And the funny thing is that Rose is actually Latina, so this is really not working out for her. Okay, so that's how that goes.
Okay. So you've worked the audience. The reaction wasn't quite what you wanted. So what do you do at that point?
I kind of try and signal Mexican Squirrel Girl. Tea Caloto. I'm trying to pronounce or do what but I sort of signaled her in the ring that, like, okay, you need to go now because they're really not liking me.
All right. So sensing that, she will look around and speaking of Christmas, like you said about the Mexican traditions that we have, I think she'll focus mostly towards that Hispanic, section of the audience, and she'll say, being here sucks at Christmas time, and one of my favorite things about Christmas is getting together with my family to make tamales, and so a couple people probably go, "Ooh," cheer there, and so she'll start pointing out, my favorite kind of tamale is the poblano and cheese. What's yours?
And I have no idea what poblano is, so I can't actually answer that as a ref.
Type of chili.
So someone shouts out
their favorite.
The favorite.
Turkey, and then another one's, smoked pork, and that kind of stuff is going on. Just that rapport with that side of the audience. So I don't know if that would be working the audience.
Yeah, that would definitely be working the audience. So one of them shouts out anything that they don't serve here.
And I don't know if it would be something that would be possible for her. Some of the gifts maybe are tamales. Why not? maybe they've arranged for catering to be able to serve tamales. That's the surprise under your seat is a ticket for a tamale or something. So what I rolled that, you said plus audience?
Plus audience, please. Yes.
Okay. Let's see here. We roll selected, and I rolled a 6, and I think I have just +1. It's hard to manage all these different windows.
Yes, I know. It's
so it would be 7.
It's one of the downsides of online role playing, unfortunately.
Right.
So for a 7 for a work the audience. So at this point, work the audience for a 7. Yeah, you can gain 1 momentum, or you can start in control of the match.
I think I'll gain 1 momentum.
Brilliant.
So she just continues to go around, giving her spiel about Christmas, and then once that seems to have hit a good cooling spot, then I'll take my position in the ring.
Okay. And Rose, do you have a response to that?
I do, actually. While they're doing this, like, my tamales, she picks up a mic and is like, "Hey, you want to know what my favorite kind of tamale is? Refried beans and hamburger past the expiration date. You know why?" And by the way, this is all in Spanish.
Okay.
Because that's all my grandmother could afford to feed me after she came here legally.
Oh, there's a huge reaction to that.
There's definitely some people mad at that.
Mm-hmm.
After working 2 jobs, and sorry, I'm running out of steam here, but that's basically where she's going. She's like, I'm a poor Latino girl who grew up in California. I'm the one you actually should be cheering here because I'm like you and she's not. She's just a visitor from another country.
Okay, so at this point, are you cutting a promo or are you using your heal move?
This is cutting a promo.
Okay, so can you roll plus luck then, please?
Absolutely. Looks the low one, isn't it? Yep, looks the low one. Okay. Sure this will go well. I rolled a 4 again. So that's a 3. Yeah, that didn't go well.
No, so the remark about legally the Latino and the Hispanic people in the audience, they basically are pushed up against the bars and they're actually shaking the bars now. And you can notice, the ring wasn't well put together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who do you think actually assembled the cage? You think it was the prison guards? Or do you think it was the stagehands?
I think it was the people who were too drunk to put together the ring.
So the cage is shaken, and the entire cage is shaken. And unless something gets started now.
Oh yeah, no, we're starting now.
Okay,
we're absolutely starting now.
I think that Tetrotl actually starts with control of the match.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I picture her doing? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just checking what was being said in the chat. I wasn't paying attention, unfortunately.
Oh,
we were just discussing who's going to do commentary.
That's fine. Okay.
So she immediately goes and climbs up to the top, or to one of the posts, and she will just leap right at Rose, and that's going to be her first move.
Okay, so can you roll plus work then, please?
Yes. All right. And my work is +2, so that was 9 + 2.
Okay, so that 9 + 2 is an 11. You've hit the move well. You've got a distinct pop. The crowd, who were already on your side, part of the crowd was already going on your side going into this. The Mexicans see you do that, and they stop shaking. Sorry, the Hispanics stop shaking the cage, and they basically start cheering you. Tequiotl.
Heck yeah.
And it just goes on and on and on, and you notice certain of the other groups start actually cheering for Rose, but they're just being drowned out by your fans in the audience.
Okay, I'll take the 2 momentum for that one.
Brilliant. And you maintain control of the match. So you've jumped at her. What have you done when you've actually jumped at her? Is this a drop kick? Is this a slam?
It's a slam.
Okay.
I just want to get her flat so that I can then kind of try to grapple in some way.
Brilliant. So you've got her down on the floor. What do you do to her now? How do you transition into the next move?
I will try. It's been a while since I actually watched wrestling, so I have to kind of visualize how this works. So if anybody wants to help out, I'd appreciate it. But I think I would try to kind of flip her over and just kind of do one of the, not like a full choke hold, but just kind of holding her still while she's wrestling against me, so that we can keep moving forward. How does that sound?
That sounds fine. So that's definitely a work move. So can you roll your work, please, on a wrestling move?
Father Boozmus kind of stumbles out to the commentary table. Got his bottle of actual real whiskey in his hand this time, and like some painkillers in the other. He's like, oh, well, this crowd, I can't tell what they're saying because they seem to be talking Mexican, but they're certainly behind the squirrel girl.
It'd be an 8 is my result.
Okay, so you can keep control of the match if you'd like, or you can pass up control and gain a momentum.
I'm going to pass control and gain a momentum.
Brilliant. So Rose Noir, you have control.
Excellent. So what we've just seen is the leap off the rope and then going into a couple of holds on the mat. And Rose continues that because this is definitely where she feels most comfortable. So we're going to see a lot of cruiserweight type combos back and forth. We're going to see a lot of, because I think at this point Rose doesn't know that the ropes are messed up. So she's going to do a lot of tossing T to the ropes so that she can come off with fly moves against her.
I think that while I have you kind of grappled like I did, I would say that the ropes aren't safe. I would let you know that information. That's not. I mean, for safety's sake, that we all need to know that.
Yeah, absolutely. So okay, then we're gonna avoid the ropes. We're probably gonna do a lot more in the corner then. Definitely at one point gonna do the whole like backing her up into the corner and having the ref have to get between them, and then as the ref gets between them, just bam, sucker punch.
Yeah, I love it.
All right,
brilliant. So, is that playing to your gimmick, or is that a technical move, or is that even you using your heal move?
At this point, I'm going with work. I'm going with technical stuff.
Okay. So can you roll with plus work then, please?
Absolutely, I can. Oh, that is an 11.
Oh, that's good. So
That's very nice.
You can choose to gain a point of heat with your opponent,
Mm-hmm.
or you can gain 2 points of momentum.
God.
I will take that point of heat.
Brilliant. What's that put your heat to at the moment?
That's got me 3.
Oh, so 1 point off that extra point of audience.
Exactly.
And you still have control. You've just sucker punched the Mexican squirrel girl, Techicotl, on the corner.
Look at this. Sorry, go on.
No.
Look at this. Rose Noir taking control of the match, just like she can't take control of her own life.
Oh, it's getting personal in here. Okay.
Even I'll go like in the ring, like.
And backstage, you realize Tallulah has actually left her mic on, and she goes, "Who let him out there on? Who let that idiot out there on the mic? Who let that? What do you mean the mic's like? Oh shit!"
Nice. How's the crowd? Is the crowd still excited, but like not going to rip through the cage?
The crowd is booing the heel at this point. They're not
good.
They're not ripping through the cage, but they are very much on the side of the Mexican squirrel girl.
Good. Well, let's get them a little bit more on her side. So as soon as I do that sucker punch, I immediately turn to the audience and just what? Huh? What? And start working the crowd.
Okay, can you roll work the audience, please?
Yes, indeed. Can I?
Yes. If you botch work the audience, sorry, did you botch it earlier?
Oh, I did botch it earlier.
Yes. So unfortunately, you as a result of that, you cannot actually work the audience for the rest of the night.
All right. Okay, then we're going to go back to, as I immediately realize, they're not going to get any more mad at me. So after the punch, referee gets out of the way, I leap up, monkey kick. So fall back and kick her off.
Okay, brilliant. So can you roll work plus work then, please?
Absolutely. That is a 10.
Oh, that's popped as well.
Nice.
They are really booing you now. You are a full out heel. This is the stuff that wrestling gold is made of.
Yes.
The heels don't live to be cheered. The heels live to be booed. And you are being booed by not just the Mexican
every language,
but the multitude. Apart from one part of the audience, which is still very quiet.
Still cheering me. I'm gonna go look at those guys later. I think I'm gonna take the 2 momentum for that.
Okay, and you still have control. Rachel, remember that if you want to take back control at any point, you can spend a momentum to do so.
Okay, I kind of like where things are going right now because that'll give me a chance to rebound at the end, like every hero does.
Exactly.
So, Joe, I would like you to actually describe how you transition into the next sequence. Okay, what actually happens? You've kicked her off.
Yeah, so kicked off with a monkey kick. She hops back up, and she's like, "Okay, this is where I want to be." Like you could tell, even past the performance, like this is Rose just enjoying the hell out of herself. So she's pointing out at the audience, even though they're going is like, "You are damn right." And then she is gonna run. This is T is on the ground, and she starts stalking. Rose starts stalking Mexican squirrel girl, waiting for her to get up. and then as soon as she gets up, comes up behind, Cobra Clutch.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, that's definitely a work move. Can you roll plus work, please?
Absolutely. That is an 8.
Okay. So at this point, you can keep control, or you can pass control and gain a momentum.
I would like to put Rose over here. Like
Okay.
the commentary. I'm like, look at this, Rose. She pulls out the monkey kick against the squirrel girl. Now she's going for the cobra clutch against the squirrel girl. She's throwing the whole damn zoological society book at this squirrel.
And at this point, the advert for Dr. Chaos's biological memoirs actually comes up on the screen behind. So yes, if you want to knock that up to a 10 to 12, that's a full success.
I will absolutely do that. I'm actually going to take the point of heat on that.
Brilliant. That puts you up to 4 heat.
That bumps us up to 4.
So are you keeping control, or are you passing control over at this point?
At this point, I'm going to pass control over because I need T to get heat now. T needs to get some heat off of this too. So
Okay. So you've had the shine, you've had the beatdown. It's time for your shine. It's time for you to make your great comeback. How do you do this? How do you get up from that horrendous move? She's got you trapped in it. She's arching your back. I'm guessing she's pulling the mask as she's doing it.
Oh,
How?
not cool.
How do you get out? What tricks do you use? What do you force yourself out? Is this an act of strength? Is this quick-wittedness? How do you turn the tables on your attacker?
Well, let's see here. So you're trying to pull off my mask. Is that what you also agree with?
Oh, sorry, no.
I have a move for that. If you are,
sorry.
What? I'm absolutely going to go with that fiction and say that I'm in the middle of the Cobra Clutch. I'm also trying to pull off the mask. That's perfect.
Okay. I mean, I'm totally cool with that too. So my move is you refuse to be seen without your mask. Whenever your mask is at risk of being removed, roll plus work if it's your choice, or roll plus real if it's someone else's. You see, gain +1 heat with your foe. And on 10 plus, pick 2. We can follow that. So I can roll for that.
Okay.
So somebody will have to describe for me what the Cobra Clutch actually looks like, because I don't know. Like, am I prone, or am I standing? How does that look?
I'm behind you. I've got one arm. One arm is across and grabbing your arm, and the other arm is up between those two arms and is pulling at the mask.
Okay. So I would probably try to do some kind of flip to get you off me. So let's see how well I'm doing protecting my mask. Does that sound correct?
That sounds perfect to me.
Okay. Again, it's been a while since I actually was able to watch anything. Oh, I rolled a 3. Oh no.
Okay.
So let's see here. If I'm doing, even if I did plus.
How much?
work,
Okay, so that's +2. So that puts it up to a 5.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I could use. Could I even use my momentum?
Yes, you can use your momentum.
That would only make it a 6, though. So
yes, that. Okay, so is our announcer going to put this over, or?
Oh yeah, I'll be getting the crowd up. I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna see the squirrel girl unmasked. Like, finally, see her. No, but squirrels do not like their face to be seen. No, it's not. Look, she's fighting him off. She's gonna. Oh my god, she's ripped his hand away. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, and the crowd, they start screaming your name and stamping their feet.
Okay, so you don't spend any momentum here, but you move it up to the next stage. So it's a partial hit. So it's a 7 to 10. So what do you get on a 7 to 10 on that?
It says the timing is off, but you make it work. You win, but your opponent chooses which of you loses.
I think that's your finishing move.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I have a really hard time with this. So you book the next step of the feud. You cover your face in time. You take theirs as part of the scuffle. Well, you're not wearing a mask, so I'm not really sure how that fits in there. What do you think?
I'm sorry, I'm just reading the room move. So you choose one. Do you cover? Do you basically do you stop yourself being unmasked?
Right. Okay.
Do you actually take something from Rose Noir, or are you unmasked and take something from Rose Noir, or you can actually book how? I'll give you an option. I'll let you choose the booking on how this match ends because there's not going to be a match going forward if you want. So you can you lose your mask and choose the booking of this match. You can keep your mask, or you can you lose your mask and take something from Rose Noir.
I'm going to keep my mask.
Okay.
So go ahead.
You do gain +1 heat with Rose Noir though, as a result of the move.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that to me. I know it's sometimes hard to break the flow. So just one question. For my Lucha Libre role of Technico, well, this would be you count as a babyface for heat purposes. The user's role move instead of babyface. When you demonstrate your technical prowess in the ring or make a big deal of respect, spend 2 momentum and pick 1. And that could allow me, with the right role, to win the match regardless of booking, have an ally come to my aid, or gain +1 heat with my opponent. At what point, like what fictionally would trigger that kind of move?
Well, you can use that move at any point. One of the things about the role moves is they include there's effectively 1 point and 1 point to interrupt whatever's going on.
Okay.
So yeah, you can interrupt at any point by just spending the 2 momentum.
Okay.
So and you actually dictate what the narrative is on that.
No. All right. Well,
there's also one other thing I need to point out as well. When you start the game, you actually gain +1 heat with any heals, which doesn't look to have been recorded. So your heat with Rose Noir at the moment is actually +3 rather than +2. So you're 1 point off that golden +4.
All right. So if after that, then I've protected, and I've done the kind of flip, and I've protected my mask. You see me like doing the thing where you kind of scuttle over to the corner and you're like trying to make sure everything's still in place. So
So at this point, I'm actually going to tell you that you are actually booked to win this match.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Believe me, wrestling fans, we dodged a bullet there because I've seen the Squirrel Girl without her mask backstage, and that is not one pretty mug. We do not want to see that in this family environment.
So are you actually using your heel move there by any chance, Mr. Narrator?
No, I don't think so. Can I?
I'm just checking.
Can you use a heel move when you're your commentator?
If your character's involved in the match, yes, you basically it counts as an interrupt.
All right, so
no, I'm not interrupting.
No, that's fine. So Technical, you are booked to win this match.
Okay. Now, is this just a straight match?
This is just a straight match, unless Rose Noir wants to swerve the booking in any way, in which case there are things that she can do. Nope. So that's fine.
There's no way Rose is going to take a win at this point.
Okay.
Well, I think what I had fictionally imagined is Squirrel Girl being so acrobatic is able to jump up on the cage and then jumps off with a flying frog splash or a missile drop kick. But I don't know if that disqualifies me.
No, that wouldn't disqualify you at all.
That's what I'd like to do then to win that match.
Okay, so at which point then can you are you doing this by spending 2 points to win the match, 2 momentum to win the match?
I will spend 2 points of momentum to win this match.
Okay, so at that point then you do that, bang! You hit Rose Noir, middle of the ring. The crowd goes wild.
Yep.
You cover her.
As I'm climbing up too, I'm doing like just working like yeah, and you see all the crowd, all the Mexicans down below who grew up maybe watching this type of fiction, and so then I do like a cute little piece thing, and then I just jump off the cage.
So what is that move called?
Let's do the elbow drop.
Okay, so
what's my move called?
Yes. Is it the flying squirrel or something like that?
It is absolutely the flying squirrel. Absolutely.
Brilliant. Okay, so bang, you hit Rose Noir in the middle of the ring. You come down. You cover her. 1, 2, 3. Ding, 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 ding. The crowd goes wild. Absolutely wild. The ref comes over, lifts your hand. The Hispanic fans are just overjoyed, and you can see that some of them are actually hugging themselves.
Nice.
Hugging each other, and they're basically all reaching out. A load of them are reaching out through the actual bars to trying to slap your hand as you go past, and get high fives, and
She'll
and-
absolutely get high fives.
and there's just a huge positive environment
Yes.
in
Yeah.
most of that room. Most
And
of
then
that room.
at that moment, I'm like, oh, fuck this shit. And I'm going to run in and attack Take a Hotel from behind and just be like, no way.
Okay, so what are you doing at this point? It's too late to do a run-in.
Oh,
The
yeah.
match is over. So what are you doing?
This is my hill move because I know that I'm booked in a tag team match against her, and I'm, she's not going to get out of this scot-free. I'm going to put the beat down on her and help Rose to her feet, and we're both going to put the boot in.
Brilliant. So are you? So what option are you choosing from your hill move?
So I'm going to spend 2 momentum, and I'm going to gain +1 heat.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so you put the beat down. A load of the extras from backstage come into the ring dressed as guards and drag you apart. You can see that the actual guards don't appear happy about this. There's certain very disapproving looks, especially with just how accurate the uniforms actually are. And they drag everyone apart. They pull Squirrel Girl out of the ring and take her backstage, and you and Rose Noir are left in the middle of the ring. So
I really hem it up too, like I'm really injured or something. I'm limping out, like, oh.
backstage, the camera comes on, and you can see the Gagetron come up, and you can see Tallulah Dixie's standing there, and she's talking to Titan. So, are you ready for the big match tonight? Are you? Sorry, let me get the right accent in. I do apologize. So, are you ready for the big match tonight?
You know it. I'm gonna show this guy. I've already shown him once what's up, and now I'm just gonna do it again. It's easy.
Oh, I have no doubt about that at all. I have no doubt you're gonna put that ingrate where he deserves to be. And
Yeah, you know it. I mean, and felons or criminals, whatever they are here, they're all Americans to me.
And they're all Americans to me. But and she steps up to you, and it's a little bit too close. I'm so happy you're doing this for me.
I'm happy I'm doing it for you too.
That just makes my heart go aflutter. And it's very rarely that a real man comes along in this business. A real man. There's so many pretenders. It's like that drunk, and like that weirdo, and that wacky professor. But no, real men they're 1 in a million. And at that point, a stretcher comes through, and on the back of it is Techicotl. Oh my! What's happened? What's happened? Are you okay?
I'm just writhing and really hamming it up even more. Like, oh, he jumped me.
Who?
Father Boozmas, he just came out of nowhere. He and Rose, they both ganged up on me. It's terrible.
And how do you react to that, Titan?
Well, I guess I need to be strong enough for the both of us then. I'm going to show this guy you can't mess around with people like this.
But Titan, you can't go out there on your own. You can't go out there on your own. I mean,
I'll unstrap the straps and say, "You won't go out alone."
No,
No.
no, don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself.
It's too late.
No, we only have you on a one-night contract.
It's too late. I'm already going.
No. And as you both head into the ring, she stands there and goes, "Can someone get me legal, please? I need to know where we stand on this." And it cuts to that point.
So I'll be shuffling slowly behind you, but I'm really not that injured, obviously.
No, because this is only a work injury. Have you had cheap heated? Has everyone had cheap heat so far tonight? Rachel, have you had cheap heat?
I don't think I have, unless we're. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. If you want to play up your injury at any point, you can certainly do that as a luck wrestling move.
I will do that.
Brilliant. So, Red Titan's music hits, and we've still got Rose Noir and Father Boozmus in the ring. So, Red Titan comes out through the curtain. You get handed a microphone. What do you say?
That was an absolutely despicable act that they just decided to jump that poor woman after she won that match. I mean, I don't know how she won that match to begin with all her flipping around and whatnot, but at the end of the day, she won the match, and we're here we should all want to be winners, not losers. Losers are like Father Boozmus. The only way he can win in life is by getting high on his own supply. We're going to show him that you can't mess with innocent people. That's a message I think all of us can agree on here, right?
Brilliant. Are you cutting a promo, or are you using your face move?
I think I'm... Actually, yeah, that's a good question. No, I think I'm cutting a promo.
Okay, so can you roll plus luck then, please?
Yeah, it's a 14.
14. Wow, the crowd reacts so really positively to this. There are cheers, there are chants. They start off chanting Tekikotl's name, but as you come out and as you support her, the chants slowly change to Titan, 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 Red Titan, 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 Red Titan, doom, 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 doom. People basically slamming the chairs into the ground going on as the chant gets bigger and bigger and bigger. What result would you like to choose for cut a promo?
So on a 10, I get a momentum, and then I'm also... I'm going to go ahead and grab them, and I have the mic still, and I'm going to say, you know what, Father Boozmus, you wanted to make it no disqualification earlier? Well, guess what? Round 2, no DQ again.
Oh, nice. Very nice. And the crowd cheer their approval of this. So, Tekikotl, while this is all going on, you make your way onto stage. What do? You make your way onto the ramp that goes down to the actual ring.
I will start a loud and sort of boisterous slur of Spanish cursing at the two of them, calling them just dirty tricksters and the whole 9 yards, and just as animated as as I normally am in real life, but I'm getting right up in their face, and I'm, how dare you? This is, that's not how this is supposed to go. You don't do that to somebody. It's just cheap, and that's what I'm doing.
Okay, so are you working the audience? Are you cutting a promo?
I think I will. I think I will be working the audience, because I'm also looking over at all the Mexican crowd, all the Hispanics, and like, you would dare do that here, and that kind of thing. So
brilliant. So can you please roll plus audience? I'm afraid you're muted.
That'd only be a 5, I think, unless I
Okay.
had gotten another point of audience somewhere, but I don't know if I did. Sorry.
Okay. And you pick up your mic. And then you finish your promo, and there's still chanting Titan's name. They haven't actually heard you. The mic wasn't working.
Yep, no problem.
And the people nearby who could actually hear what you're saying, yet start cheering for you, but the focus is almost entirely on Titan at this point.
No problem.
So we've got 2 people in the ring. Do any of you want to reply?
Oh yes. How upright is Boozmas right now?
Boozmas he's finished that bottle of whiskey that he's stuck in.
Okay.
You know?
In which case, then, can you activate your addict move, please?
Oh, I certainly can. So yeah. Whenever I take something, I gain +3 momentum, and I lose 2 real. Whenever I'm on something, which I am, you can tell, you can smell the booze in my breath. I'm staggering around. I roll real for all my non-gimmick moves. So I'm basically going to roll -2 for all my non-gimmick moves.
Yeah.
But I do have the move completely insane, yes. Which is whenever I do something that's plain crazy, it overrides addict, and I roll look instead. If I botch, I injure myself.
This is going to be an interesting match.
Yes.
So basically, I've pulled the pin out of the living grenade that is Father Boozmas, and he's ready to go off.
Before we go on, we're approaching what was supposed to be the end time of the game. Does anyone have to leave? Does anyone have to leave right on time here? Or
yeah, I'm afraid I do. I do need to leave it dead on. So I only got 10 minutes.
Okay. So we're gonna have to wrap this up very quickly then.
I'll tell you what though, I'm totally cool. I'm totally cool with like we kick it off, and like Boozmas is so fucked. He literally has to like get ushered out the ring, and you can kind of carry it on without me.
Well,
That's
Paul,
fine.
why don't we play until I'm going to start with you, if people are okay. I'm going to start with Paul in control, and then when he passes control to someone else, then at that point we'll have something happen to Boozmas, and it'll turn into a 2-on-1 match.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so Paul, Boozmas starts in control. What does he do?
He scales the fucking cage, the top of the cage. And he's up there, like sitting like astride the cage, like, and he finishes swigging off his bottle of kind of whiskey, like, whoa, and he's like, "Fuck you guys, the party don't start until Boozmas walks in." Whoa. And he's literally going to do, like Almost Famous, where that guy like dives off the top of the fucking roof into the swimming pool. He's going to do that like into the fucking crowd.
Okay. So can you roll plus luck, because that's definitely something crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
What are you trying to do?
I'm working the audience, man.
Can you roll with the audience with plus luck then, please?
Yeah, sure. Oh, I rolled a 6, so plus my audience is 3. So that's a 9. And I'm going to use one of my momentum to put that up to a 10.
Okay, so when you get a 10 plus on work the audience, I keep on having it on the wrong page. Give me 2 seconds. Work the audience is there. Okay, you get them on your side. You get +2 momentum.
Yeah, I think they sort of catch me kind of fall, and I imagine the guards go fucking mental. Like, when this
they do. The guards rush forward, and they get around you, and they're trying to pull you up. And while they're pulling you up, they don't seem to notice one of them actually drops his nightstick, and one of the actual inmates bends down, picks it up, and throws it into the ring.
Amazing.
So, Paul, when you work the audience, you hand over control.
Yep.
So, who are you handing over control to?
Control is going over to Red Titan, I think.
Okay.
I think the nightstick kind of skids to Red Titan's kind of feet.
Okay, so the nightstick skids in, and the crowd are cheering. Several of the more bloodthirsty ones are shouting, "Use it! Use it!" And you're stood there in the ring. You have control. This is a tag team match, or at least it was a tag team match. So in order to pass control to Squirrel, you'd have to use the hot tag move, which goes off your heat. But you are in control at the moment. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick up that nightstick. And is Father Boosmus in the ring?
No, he's actually out in the crowd at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'll just use the nightstick and use it to choke Rose.
Okay. So at this point, I think you're using hardcore violence. So you have a stat called Real. Can you roll plus Real, please?
This is not going to go well.
It's a 5.
Okay. So, so on a botch, you play it too safe or you fuck it up. Give one momentum to your opponent and they take control of the match. And you pick one. You lose +1 audience. You lose 1 audience, or you take an injury.
I think I'm going to lose an audience because I think it was probably similar to earlier where I was pulling my punches too much. And now I went to choke Rose and it was very obvious that I wasn't going for it all the way. So yeah, I'm going to go and lose an audience.
Brilliant. Okay, so Rose, you have control. You are currently being choked with a nightstick.
Uh-huh.
How do you get out of this? How do you counter this? How do you turn this round into the next sequence?
So I've got the thing. Look, Titan, we're gonna have to turn this around because they're not gonna buy you and me. They're not gonna buy 2-on-1 with me on the other side. So sorry. And she kicks him in the knee, and she legit kicks him in the knee.
Are you working real stiff?
I'm working stiff.
Okay, can you roll plus Real, please?
Yes, that's a thing I can definitely do. Ooh, 10. Nice.
Okay, so working real stiff on a 10. On a 10, you really lay them out. Pick 2 from the 7 and 9 list. You injure your opponent. The match ends in a no contest, or your opponent loses 1 audience.
Oh, this place is going to come apart if it ends in a no contest. But I think I'm going to have to do that. Yeah, let's do that. I do injure him.
Okay.
So he takes an injury. And then I take the nightstick and start beating him with it. And it just, even though it's a no disqualification match, like it gets so crazy and violent. And I think at this point,
I think the fans start shaking the cage.
Yes.
And there's a distinct crunk as the cage wall comes loose. And the cage wall falls down.
Yep.
And the fans start surging into the ring.
And
I think, Father Boosmus, I'd like to use my heal move here.
Okay.
I'm going to spend 2 momentum to get out of a match that I've been booked in. And Father Boosmus, he's he's pissed and he's in the crowd, they're all going crazy. And he pulls one of the chairs up that's been chained to the floor, and he's like, yeah, chair party, and he just lobs the chair in, and all of the crowd just start lobbing all the chairs into the ring, and he runs the other way and runs backstage.
Okay, so he turns around to run away, realizing that the area that he's in now was totally isolated from the actual area that was backstage. He turns to run and he bumps into someone. He looks up, and Chief Washington is and we'll end that there. The match ends in a no contest. The cage comes down. The inmates start pouring into the ring. The guards start cracking down. Sirens sound. Everything goes to chaos. You can Tallulah's at the top of the steps going, come on. She gets everyone out with the exception of Boozmus, and rather than going and getting changed, she moves you directly to the bus that you came in on. And it's like the last scene of a zombie movie. You know, that thing where the survivors all get out. Everyone clambers onto the bus, and the inmates, some of them are chasing after. You see some of the white skinheads actually trying to chase down folk. And literally the door closes as they're getting close, and the bus drives off.
I run to the back of the bus and look at the white skinheads and just flip them all like the double bird as we're driving away.
Okay, and so Tetracotl, what's your closing vignette?
I think she is just leaping. I mean, there's all these hulking, huge people in the prison. So as they're coming in, she'll just jump up off of one shoulder right over to somebody else as she scrambles up towards the exit. And you see her do that kind of slide where you skid around the corner. She grabs her bag and probably Rose's and anybody else's that happened to be in that room that was close by, and she's the first one on that bus. So,
excellent.
Just you see me I bust the door open basically to get into that.
Brilliant.
So.
And Joe, what's your closing vignette?
It's sort of it's almost kind of breaking kayfabe, because Rose actually fights a rear guard to make sure everybody else gets out. And she has that nightstick, and she is, I don't know if she actually gets to use it, but she is not afraid to use it if something goes sideways.
Brilliant.
And then I think the last thing we see is her sitting in the seat, her bag, just like giving handshakes and high fives to everybody, and she's got that nightstick, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm holding on to this."
Brilliant. And Titan, what's your closing vignette?
I think I'm kind of limping out a little bit after getting my knee worked on a little, and I think there's a scene with I'm maybe sitting on the bus with Tallulah. And just kind of, letting her sort of dote all over me of like, oh, your poor knee. And she's like rubbing it and trying to give it a massage and everything, trying to make me feel better.
Excellent. And last word, Paul?
Yeah, like as this kind of riot is completely kicking off and there's chairs getting thrown everywhere, there's like Father Boozmus just like standing like in front of Officer Washington like that going, I ain't leaving. I ain't going anywhere till I get paid. Okay.
And as his arms come out, basically the handcuff goes round it, and at that point the screen fades to black.
I love it. This was so much fun.
Thank you. I've really enjoyed this tonight. So that is Christmas Carnage 2. Join us next year for Christmas Carnage 3.
Merry Christmas,
everyone. And I will end the broadcast here.